You're listening to SM Media, the #1 place for exclusive content.
Hi everyone, welcome to the latest episode of the Scottish Football Show right here on SM Media. I'm Scott McPice, an absolute pleasure to be your host as always. We're an all-star panel this week. We've got the regular team in. Some of them are a bit more half-cut than others. Shankers, we'll come to you first. Obviously, you're one of the results of the weekend. How are we?
I've been better physically than now. My body's sore, head's sore, everything's sore. It was a tough shift yesterday, but it was.
Yeah, definitely. We'll get your thoughts and your result in a couple of minutes. We're joined by Wilson. Wilson, you didn't have that good a Saturday. How are we?
Fine, thank you. I'm just really on here to condemn the snowball throwing incident at Livingston today. Absolutely disgraceful scenes again by the Rangers support, but I'm sure we'll cover that later on.
Yeah, we'll touch on that later on. And we're also delighted to be joined by Rory Loy. Rory, it's been a busy weekend for you as usual. How are we?
Aye, not too bad. Just still thawing out after my trip to Arbroath yesterday, but I'm getting there and looking forward to the show.
Aye, definitely. We're going to touch on a lot of the results over the weekend, but where else to start but the Scottish Cup? Shankers Auchinleck 1, Hamilton 0, West of Scotland team beating a Scottish Championship team. That must rank as one of the best results you've ever been involved in.
Aye, definitely. It's right up there with their result a couple of years ago. I'm not saying I'm no surprised. Of course, we knew it was going to be tough, but everybody believed that we could go out there, and if we all played the potential and gave 100%, then we knew that we would get chances, and we knew it was possible, definitely. So it was enjoyable. We were out there. It was a really tough shift. A lot of times that we didn't have the ball, and we had to kind of keep our shape and concentration levels had to be at maximum, because if we switched off a wee bit, they've got enough quality to hurt you. So it was a good day, and we look forward to the draw tomorrow.
Aye, the draw is going to be on Monday night after Brecon versus Darvel. Wilson, how proud are we as Shankers for his achievement of getting to the fourth round, Auchinleck?
I mean, all joking aside, it's a terrific result, and it's terrific for Auchinleck Talbot and everyone associated with them. Again, I agree with Shankers, though. I don't think it was much of a shock at all, to be honest. I know possibly the bookmakers did, right up until kick-off. But no, I think when you look at, and it's different for us because obviously we're near, so we know a lot of the Talbot players, etc. But even on paper, I thought Talbot's squad was better than Hamilton Accies. But it's grave ties for Hamilton Accies. You know, that result can have a real negative impact for the rest of your season as well. Yeah, they'll probably say we're concentrating on the league and whatever, you know, but it's don't take anything away from Auchinleck Talbot. They deserve to win that game yesterday. Well, judging by the highlights that I've seen, extended highlights, I haven't obviously seen the full 90 minutes, but Auchinleck Talbot deserve to win that game. And I'm just glad, you know, I saw a wee video last night, so I'm just glad I'm actually seeing Shankers' face tonight rather than any other part. It was anatomy, so it's good to see his face tonight, even though they're quite similar.
He talks at the two of them and all.
Take them to both of them.
Shankers, on a serious note, Shankers, can I just ask, seeing the next round, the group in the changing room, do you think, would you rather get a big hitter, or would you rather get a winnable tie, someone, you know, that you feel you can, a home tie against, I don't know, a League One, League Two side, and go and progress again and get into the next round? That's not to say you aren't capable of beating a Livingston or a St Johnstone, would you rather get a Premier League side next, or would you rather get a tie which you would see is more favourable?
We were talking about just before you come on off the camera, and we were saying that it would be great to get a favourable tie at home, because you want to go as far as you can, but then also there's the thing that you want to go away to an Easter Road, or we don't want to go away to Tynecastle again. We've been there twice. We want somebody that we've maybe not played. If you're going to get one of the SPL sides or one of the higher sides, you're wanting them really away from home, which benefits the club financially, and it's to get a chance to play against like one of the top sides in the country. So it's hard. I really can see both points, but for me, I would preferably want a favourable home tie to give us a chance of progression again. So let's help the club out and obviously a chance to progress into the next round.
Rory, we've seen just a few of the results we'll talk about. Auchinleck 1, Hamilton 0, Clydebank 2, Clyde 0, and Banks of D1, East Fife. Banks of D2, East Fife 1. Do they results catch your eye straight away? Are you surprised at them? Maybe knowing as much about the those kind of level leagues. Are you surprised at the kind of results when you see them?
Listen, the cup always provides shocks to a certain extent. I think the Auchinleck one stands out because Hamilton, not so recently were very recently, were in the top division. And whilst the guys say, within the changing room, Shankers and Wilson, I know you know those leagues very, very well, and Shankers and the boys that play down there very well. I know you say it's not a shock, but I mean that's some achievement to be a championship side. Being for the West of Scotland Football League is a huge achievement, and I think it speaks volumes, these results, for the pyramid system and the changes that need to be made within the pyramid system to give these guys a fair opportunity to be performing at a higher level week in, week out. Guys will spend a number of years in these divisions fighting to get out of them, and then by the time they've played a lot of years in the game, there's only one space available to get promoted. And I think that there's enough results and there's enough quality in these leagues to show that there should be more of a pathway there for teams to be promoted and to be more competitive within the leagues, because they're more than capable of doing it. And I think it's a shame for Scottish football because there's talent out there, and I don't think the opportunities are as equal and fair as they could and should be.
Shankers, we'll give a wee mention to our friends at Clydebank as well for another monumental result, 2-0 win over Clyde. How proud are you of them as well for being the second team of the West to get there? Hopefully Dar will make it 3 tomorrow night.
Aye, listen, Rory's absolutely hit the nail on the head there. It is kind of weighed in the favour of the teams at a higher level, like playoffs and stuff like that, rather than if you're going into a pyramid system and it's tier 1 through to 6 or whatever, it has to be a straight up and down for me. The way it works. I mean, it's even the playoffs, like the Championship, SPL, kind of weighs in the favour of the SPL side rather than just a kind of 4 teams, two ties, and rather than the 4th place has to play third, and then 3rd and 2nd has to play it out for. So I definitely think that there should be a restructure there. But going on to Clydebank's result, can't say I'm too shocked at either. We played them a few weeks ago, and it was a tough match. And I think when they got the draw home tie as well, which is favourable to Clyde, they were after getting up to Elgin and winning, they were fully believed that they can go and do that. And I'm quite confident that Darvel can win tomorrow. And I think it just shows that the teams are at a level, and it's not just one-off matches. I think if they were in there, in those League 2, League 1, I think we would compete. So it's not a shock the Clydebank one. And as I say, if Darvel go and win tomorrow, that I wouldn't be that one either.
Wilson, what was your result of the weekend in the Scottish Cup? Did any results catch your eye?
Kelly's. No, I mean, obviously the Clydebank and Talbot results kind of took over in terms of, obviously lower down the pyramid system and whatnot. I think Wraith Rovers won at Falkirk, so I think that's a good result for them. I thought that would be a potential banana skin for them. Also, Partick beating Dunfermline, also a wee bit of resurgence at Dunfermline with John Hughes in. Partick, suppose was it a surprise result? But no, I think all the attention, and rightly so, should go on Clydebank and Talbot, and then obviously maybe Darvel producing a good result tomorrow night. Opens that right up for those teams.
Aye, Banks of D as well, obviously beating East Fife, so another brilliant result for them. Best of luck to them in the 4th round as well. Rory, you were at Arbroath yesterday? Was there any results catching your eye? What was your thoughts on the Arbroath game?
Both were more than comfortable. They really were. Forfar struggled against them. Arbroath played a 4-5-1 and dominated the midfield, get numbers in the middle of the pitch, and some lovely play. The boy Luke Donnelly was, I worried for Arbroath a little bit when I seen Joel Newbley wasn't allowed to play, being at Livingston on loan. But the boy Luke Donnelly was excellent, took his goal really well. Forfar had a wee bit of a go in the second half for about 10 minutes until they got the third Arbroath, and then it was game over. But Arbroath were just a better team. Funnily enough, Forfar had one chance in the full game, and it was at 0-0, and Scott Shepherd fluffed his lines. It was coming in his left foot, and he just didn't quite strike it right. Arbroath went on to win uncomfortably. It was good to watch them, and it wasn't too windy. It was quite cold towards the end of the game, but comfortable win for Arbroath. I thought it would have been more competitive, to be fair, but it wasn't that way. Then I tell you something, nobody will want Arbroath in the next round, especially away. Arbroath will fancy their chances of taking any team out with the maybe top 4 or 5 in the top league. I think they would give anyone a game. I really do.
How was the wind machine, Rory?
It was fine. That's what I'm saying. I got so many texts from people, and it was fine. There was people up and down the country saying, "Oh, it's freezing." Don't get me wrong. When the sun went down, the sun was kind of behind the stadium, and it was all right. But as the night drew in, about kind of 4:30, I did start to get cold. But I've been to Arbroath a few times, and that's definitely the best conditions I've been involved in.
We'll move on to the Premiership. Obviously, with a full Premiership card as well that we'll talk about. We'll start off at Dens Park. Dundee 3, Motherwell 0. Rory, that's a massive result for Dundee, obviously getting back to winning ways against a Motherwell team who did look as if they were resurgent.
Yeah, I mean, James McPake's had a number of weeks now in the training ground to get them ready for this game. They've got a very, very busy schedule in December, a lot of tough games. So I think it was important they got at least a point in that game, but I don't think anyone expected I don't think a win by the odd goal against Motherwell at home would have been a massive shock, but to go and win 3-0 in the manner they did, it could have probably been 4 or 5 the way it went. They were excellent. Like I said, I think that's huge for them. Ross County have picked up a bit of form as well. I know they were beaten yesterday, but going into that game, I just feel that it was a game that I know Ross County got a point, yesterday, but going into the game, I just felt that Dundee had to pick something up, but I didn't, like I said, expect them to go and blow Motherwell away. And that'll give them great belief getting into December, because, like I said, they've got some massive fixtures, and clubs like Dundee are always going to go through a spell where they maybe lose 3, 4 or 5 in a row, potentially. But I think they're the third, based on the last 5 or 6 fixtures, I think they're the third form team in the country after the Old Firm. Mm-hmm. I know they had a 5-0 defeat in there at home to Ross County, quite remarkably, but they'd won at home to Aberdeen and got a draw at Tynecastle. Then they've beaten Motherwell, so they're going not too badly at all under James McPake, and they'll definitely be targeting their Dens Park fixtures in December as a way of trying to pick up some more points.
Wilson, anything you want to add in the Dundee Motherwell game?
No, it was more about Motherwell, how hot and cold Motherwell are. Beating Hearts at home and then going there and losing quite heavily. And as Rory kind of said there as well, it could have been more. So I worry about Motherwell, to be honest. I think there are 2 or 3 bad results really from falling into a bit of a trap there, So, but as I say, going by the highlights, Dundee were the better team and a fully deserved win.
Shankers, what about you?
Rory made a point. I thought. I actually thought it could have been 4 or 5 as well. The chances that Dundee had, there was crossbars, good saves, goal line clearances and stuff like that. So pretty comfortable for Dundee. And as Rory says, they'll be looking at that. They got a win. Livingston, teams running about in Livingston, St Johnstone, Aberdeen, St Mirren, all dropping points. So it'll be good for them. And as Rory says, their fixtures coming in. December's normally a pretty kind of month. Football-wise, so they'll be looking to pick up as many points as possible.
Yeah, but it was a massive win for Dundee, a 3-0 home win at Dens Park. We'll move on to the game at McDermott Park. St Johnstone 1, Hibs 2. St Johnstone took the lead through a Ryan Porteous own goal, then were reduced to 10 men. Kevin Nisbet finally got his goal in the 83rd minute after 2 goals been ruled out, and Jamie Murphy scored the winner for Hibs to give them their first league win in 6 games. Wilson, Hibs left it late, but they got the result. Will that give them a massive degree of confidence to get out that rut they were in the league?
I think so. I mean, I saw their form guide before the game. It was the last 5 league defeats. Obviously, they got a wee bit of a buzz about the semi-final one last week. But I was just a bit disappointed in the match officials again. You know, I picked Nisbet for top scorer, and he got two goals ruled out. One that was never offside. Oh my goodness!
Unbelievable, man.
And then the second one it was Porteous, so let's be honest, it probably was a foul. And the lead up to that one, but he still got his goal. As I say, it's definitely a good result for Hibs. St Johnstone pulling as well a bit right enough. But from a Hibs point of view, good firepower. That'll be 2 wins in a week because they've obviously got an easy home fixture on Wednesday as well.
Rory, what was your thoughts in Hibs' 2-1 win over St Johnstone?
I think the standard of the Hibs goals really stood out. It's old cliche, you know, St Johnstone, no an easy place to go and all that, but you know, they don't make it easy for you. They're big, they're physical. Moments of quality won that game for Hibs, and it's no easy to do that. The first goal, the interchange of play, Scott Allen into Murphy back to, I think it was Murphy back to Nisbet, and you know, wonderful finish, and then Scott Allen showing a bit of magic and you know, getting his head up and picking somebody out, which is nice to see. Maybe the difference of a creative player in that area rather than a fullback who finds areas. Creative player gets his head up, picks somebody out, gives Jamie Murphy a relatively easy finish. So I think the standard of the goal stood out for me. And Hibs overall, as Wilson quite rightly says, the first goal should have stood. And I fancied Hibs to grind out a result. I think Jack Ross always seems to be able to do that historically, to grind out a result when he kind of needs one. And I think I went for 1-0 on the predictor, and you know, 2-1. They did grind it out in the end. Although to be fair, if it wasn't for probably poor refereing, then it would have been more comfortable.
Yeah. What did you think of Scott Allen's impact? I mean, he seems to be a very talented player, and he always seems to have an impact coming off the bench, but it doesn't really.
Well, he's come through a lot, obviously, in the past year.
He never seems to start. As I say, maybe that's surprising to me because the impact he makes coming off the bench is usually very good.
I think the difficulty as well is see the first 60 minutes at SPL games, especially away St Johnstone. It's blood, guts, and thunder. It's kick and rush at times. It's a shame because the quality can be better. Because St Johnstone can play if they get the ball down, but I think it's that hesitation to go see if it's backs to the wall, see if it's tough. Is Scott Allen going to have that impact? Maybe he's a better option for the bench, which is a frustration for the player. But you can kind of understand why it's there. Although if you were to pick the guy with the most quality on the ball out of the pool of 18 in both teams, you would probably go with him. But I think it's just that idea of how the game might go potentially.
Probably the sending off. You think the sending off's 2 bookings, yeah?
Probably.
Yeah. I thought the first one could have arguably been a red. To be honest, I didn't like Porteous' reaction, but I thought that was a bit naughty.
Yeah. Shankers, apart from yourself on Saturday, was there any other striker that deserved a goal more than Kevin Nisbet?
No, I said it earlier, that first goal, I cannot for the life of me see what the linesman has honestly seen there. He's getting the perfect view. It's right in front of him. He's not looking through bodies, anything at all. I know it's came from a distance and he's in stuff. I don't know whether he's maybe watching the pass and then he's seen him running through, but he actually ran past the defender right in front of him. When Nisbet gets his goal, his finish is.
I know the linesman, Shankers. I know exactly why the goal was ruled out. He's obviously following what he's been told to do.
Oh,
I just knew. I was watching that laugh. I knew something was coming.
When it's referees and officials and stuff involved, you see that unmute button coming off, and you know something. You get said, but no, it's something to picked out about the quality of Hibs goals. Nisbet's got a great finish. Scott Allen's wee turn for the goal, and Jamie Murphy an impact as well. Hibs probably unlucky no actually to get more and win the game more comfortably. I know it looks as if they've left it late. Well, they obviously have left it late to get the 2 goals back, but they probably should have been back in the game a lot earlier. But Hibs have got a wee bit of momentum. Just now, I know they lost to Ross County last week, but going away to St Johnstone, as Rory says, and then another week there, it's a big factor midweek. They're kind of coming up the table now, 18 points. I think they're maybe 6th place, so it's a bit of a false position for where they probably want to be. So they'll be looking to push up that.
Shankers, we'll stay in you for the game at Tynecastle. Hearts 2, St Mirren 0. Mackay, Stephen and Kingsley with the goals. Kingsley with a wonderful free kick to secure the points for Hearts. Hearts are doing it, and they're they're not. There's times where you can kind of think they're not at it at all, but at home they're looking very, very good. They were obviously second until Celtic won today. They're getting it done at home, and Craig Gordon's another massive player for them as well, with another excellent performance.
He was brilliant. I actually thought St Mirren were maybe unfortunate not to come away with maybe a point or that with chances and stuff like that. They've hit the bar. Gordon put off great saves. I think they'd one cleared off the line as well. They actually played really well. Rory picked up in a point the other week there. See when it's still 0-0 and Hearts are missing chances and fans are groaning and moaning. I mean, it's as if Rory said I think it was like Newton seems to be maybe the fans have got some, I don't know what it is, maybe when they're not winning and stuff like that, they seem to have a wee bit more pressure on them than just for supporters and stuff like that. But they're sitting up in the table. You could argue that they're maybe punching above their weight, having just come up for last year. Obviously, they've probably got arguably the third best board in the league, but I think the fans maybe need to relax a wee bit. They're sitting third. I think they've got a 2-point lead, but they could easily 2-point lead ahead of Dundee United in fourth. But I think they're a wee bit harsh and stuff like that way. I know it's like 70 minutes now at home at St Mirren. They probably think they should be winning, but you've not got a given right to win. But as you said, the free kick, the second goal, the free kick, the on that is, I think he's done that quite a few times this season already, Kingsley, to be fair to him. So Hearts fans, I think, are been a wee bit harsh on their managers and stuff like that when they're maybe drawing and stuff like that. They're third place and rightly so so far. So I think Nielsen gets a wee bit hard time for their support for whatever reason. I don't know if they've got some, I don't know if something's happened or whatever they've got, but third place in the league, it's hard to argue.
Rory, did you think St Mirren maybe deserved something at the game, or was Craig Gordon just too good to kind of keep them out?
I was baffled. I've seen St Mirren's last two home games and they've created no chances, scored one goal. The reason they scored the goal, it wasn't even a chance, it was an unbelievable finish from McGrath. So to watch them go to Tynecastle and look like they had chances to win the game, I was just like, it's mental. Like to go to maybe you could argue, well, Hearts open up a little bit, leave more spaces for Brophy to run into, etc. But I thought St Mirren have been poor the last two home games I've watched them. They picked up 1 point. Livingston for me were probably the better team last week, although a draw was probably fair overall. Dundee for me deserved their win. So watching them go to Tynecastle and create chances, you're always up against it when you go there. Craig Gordon, how many points a season does your keeper win you? I think you can add at least 2 or 3 potentially to the tally of what Craig Gordon's won for Hearts after Saturday. It was exceptional. Poor finishing as well, I thought St Mirren should have scored a couple of goals. And Stephen Kingsley, I played with Stephen. He's technically he's excellent. He's a young lad at Falkirk when I was there, and his technique is second to none. He used to, big switches of play for Will Vaulks. He used to bring them down, kill them dead, and fizz them right across the goal. It wasn't a free kick taker back then, right enough. So it's obviously something he's been working on. But that was a peach of a finish, top quality.
Wilson, were you surprised at Hearts 2-0 win over St Mirren when you watched it back?
I wasn't surprised at the result. Before the game, I was thinking that's a routine home win for Hearts.
I think we might have predicted 2-0, Wilson. Me and you, 5 points.
Very routine. Obviously, maybe not on the performance it looked like that, but again, the boys have highlighted the value of Craig Gordon, to Hearts, and I still wouldn't be surprised if he got moved to an even better team, even at his ripe old age, because he just seems to be getting, the older he gets, the better he gets, to be fair. So, no, routine win, good points on the board. What happened after today? I knew I was leading from Saturday's results, Scott.
I've not actually looked back yet. We'll look at that towards the end of the show.
All right, okay.
The winner is all right.
That must mean he's never done well.
Nah,
he's changing the slide to repost the right scores because he was getting hard yesterday.
Do you think if he was English, Craig Gordon, do you think he's better than Pickford?
On his day, yeah. I don't know now, but on his day, definitely.
I watch Pickford and he makes. I don't know. I think Craig Gordon pulls off ridiculous saves.
I think Craig Gordon
He's bigger in the goals
because of his injury as well. It kind of stunted him a wee bit in terms of when he was playing down south. But
no, I mean right now.
Oh, right now he's better than Pickford. Absolutely, he's hopeless. Less on him, man. You know what's goal in the Premiership.
What was I going to say? It just makes the whole Celtic goalie debacle last year an absolute farce, doesn't it?
Absolutely incredible.
I mean, he's the Scotland number 1. He's put off. He's actually won Hearts a lot of games single-handedly just by saves, and I think it was it the cup final, maybe the one against Celtic. They went to penalties. I mean, I think he kept them in that one. It was maybe the semi-final against Hibs, I'm not sure.
The double save last week against Motherwell, even though they get beat, was outrageous.
What do you think if Alan McGregor was still available for Scotland? What you've got, Alan McGregor's maybe not the best start to it, or he's not been outstanding. He was really good on Thursday night, a couple of good saves. But who do you think would be Scotland's number 1 if they were all there and the game's tomorrow?
Great question.
That is a good question. I would go.
If it was right
now, I think it would be hard. Sorry, Rory, when you go.
No, on you go, mate. On you go.
I think
obviously I know what Shankers going to say, but I think you've got to look. Gordon's played now, if you know what I mean. But if Alan McGregor hadn't, retired from international duty and Marshall was out, this time last year, I went, it's got to be Alan McGregor, 100% Alan McGregor.
Yeah. Right now, I think probably. I mean, it's Rangers are conceding a lot of goals in it. I know that's not just McGregor's fault, but I've seen McGregor have on form. It would be hard to argue with Craig Gordon. Just with saves and stuff like that. I mean, he's playing in a arguably I'm not saying a worse team because it's not the right word, but a team that's not as good as Rangers just now. So he's getting worked a lot. He's getting worked a lot more as well. But I think right now it's hard to argue with Craig Gordon, to be honest. I think Gordon, see like boys into the boxing, that Gordon doesn't think twice about coming out and collecting them because he's at best and stuff like that. I think that's one thing that Alan McGregor, I'm not telling Alan McGregor he lacks anything because I'm not in the right position to be doing that, but I would like to see him come out and take a pressure after defence at times, come out and catch boys at 6 yards out and stuff like that. I just think that's maybe something that he doesn't do. Right now, it's hard to argue with Craig Gordon, to be honest.
I do have the results of the predictor. He's what to hear them. I'll wait to the end of the show.
He must be winning. He must be winning if he's.
Can I
seen the laptop rising up in his lap now?
Can I just add to the Craig Gordon thing? I don't. Depending on how you take the question, I suppose. I think Alan McGregor would probably, if they were both in the squad from day dot, I think when it came to the decision of David Marshall during that period of time, I think Alan McGregor would have been given the nod at that particular moment in time. Yeah. And I think that the jersey would have been his to lose. And I think given how Steve Clarke manages and how loyal he is, you really need to do pretty badly, or you need to make obvious mistakes to be out the team. I think that Craig Gordon at this moment in time would be putting him under serious pressure. But I think if he'd never retired, then when Marshall dropped out after no playing at Derby, I think that given the noise around McGregor at that particular time, player of the year, doing fantastically well, I think he would have been put in. And I don't think he's been that poor this season that he would have been deserved to be dropped. So I think you'd be sitting there with probably McGregor in goals. But to be honest, sometimes these decisions can be more of a hindrance than a help. So it's probably not a bad thing for the national team that McGregor did take a step back because Gordon's been so good.
We'll touch on the predictor before we get into the next game. In fourth place is me with 6 points. Third place with 9 points is Shankers.
I've not been too hot.
Bigger things, but you've got bigger things to worry about, Shankers.
I think I've been pit by a point. I think because I was a point behind you yesterday. We both got a correct result, but
no, but
I
had Celtic as a draw the day. 2 each. Did you? I had 2 each.
Right. I'm all ears.
In second place with 11 points is Rory.
Devastation.
That means a winner, and somehow he's managed to pick this out despite having Celtic to draw 2 each with Aberdeen. And 12 points is Mark Wilson. Mark, you've won the predictor.
Well,
how has he won it?
Thank you very much to everyone for watching. We'll see you soon. Cheers. You were 3 points behind going into the day.
Oh, was I?
Did he? How many results did he?
I had 2-1 Rangers.
Aye, he picked two great results. He picked Hearts 2, St Mirren 1, and Ross County 1, Dundee United 1. So
Hearts 2,
That's a
St
last
Mirren
minute
1.
goal, T.
Hearts 2, St Mirren 0, sorry, and Ross County 1, Dundee United 1. So he did do all right. Who's telling him to pick
At least
him?
he
I don't
doesn't
know.
look smug about it.
It's wait till you hear my bet at the end of the show. You'll be lumping on at the end of the show. I'm going to give all the viewers bet of the week.
We'll get on to
Please
that
gamble
later on.
responsibly.
We'll get on to the result that Wilson picked, right? Ross County 1, Dundee United 1. Ross County coming off an excellent result, beating Hibs during the week. Rory, Ross County obviously left it late to get an equaliser despite going down to 10 men. Could this be a wee beginning of a resurgence for Malky Mackay's team?
I think they've shown that. I don't think it's. I think I went for a 2-0 win. I don't think that's a new thing. I think they beat Dundee 5-0. Went to Ibrox, did fine, although they didn't win the game. Game called off against Hibs, a point against Dundee United. I think they're going fine. Whether they will be fine, I'm not quite sure. I think if you look above them, Dundee are picking up points. Livingston always seem to manage to grind out a result. I've said it for a wee while, and I was kind of laughed at almost. I think without wanting to go down the Mark Wilson route, I think St Johnstone could get sucked into it. I think they could. They're not playing particularly well. A lot of noise around the cup stuff, which is great. Not picking up an awful lot of points. I don't think they're playing particularly well. The 3 points they did pick up a couple of weeks ago, I mean, how Xander Clark single-handedly won them that game. He was unbelievable. I've got a wee feeling that St Johnstone could be toiling. I don't think they'll make top 6. I don't even think they'll be close this year.
They're only a point behind 11th. They're only, but it's quite tight there. Aberdeen
In front.
11th.
In front and 11th. But I mean, it's tight. It's tight there as well. Wilson, you picked the result right. Were you surprised, obviously, that Ross County left it so late to get you your 5 points on the board?
I think I was surprised they left it late. I just thought it's one of those games. It didn't look particularly good. The highlights, but maybe teams in the past at Ross County maybe not have got that breakthrough right at the end. Maybe got a wee bit of luck. I actually thought I think the ball must have been over the line. I thought it actually looked a bit offside. The guy was right over the line, putting it in the roof of the net from the header. Actually, but Dundee United didn't seem to complain, so I don't know. But again, that was a banker draw, guys. So you need to start listening to me for the coupons now.
Shankers, you want to add Ross County United?
No, I actually thought Ross County were unlucky not to win the game. I think they had enough chances to win the game, but Rory says actually they're doing no bad. Now picking up some points along the way. So,
but again, touching on the referees, you think that's a sending off as well?
Yeah,
two bookings. It's hard.
They're both yellow cards, aren't they?
I know that referee. There's no agenda there. I know that referee. He's no agenda. He's as fair as they come. He's one of the good.
Was that you? Is it you and Anderson? Him?
Greg Aitken.
Oh, he actually goes to some of the Talbot sportsman dinners. I don't know. Is he figuring this way?
He's from Command, but not part of the establishment.
Let's move on to the games today. Obviously, there was two today. Rangers won 3-1 away to Livingston at the Tony Macaroni Arena in Giovanni Van Bronckhorst's first league game in charge. Shankers, it was as routine as you get for the first half hour. Arfield and Aribo with two terrific goals. A defensive lapse gets Livingston back into the game. And then obviously the thing that made Mark Wilson so traumatic, the snowball fight. And then Sakala makes it 3 with a terrific header. Rangers did deserve to win, there's no doubt about that. It was convincing, but there's still the wee defensive lapse, isn't there?
I mean, when it went 2-0, I was quite confident that it was going to go 3-4 and 5, and then you let them into it, and away to Livingston, when there's one goal in it, they're always in the game. So, I mean, McGregor's put off a good save for Forrest. Forrest probably should score to make it 2 each, and then if it goes 2 each, then can Rangers previously I've went and lost games and stuff like that. So I think McGregor save at 2-2, and then after that, Livingston were kind of huffing and puffing, but there wasn't really anything they would say they deserved a goal here or there. But it was comfortable with getting out a kind of second gear. It was some good football and stuff like that. Aribo had just get to see like that. It was always kind of Aribo and Hadji. I mean, I wouldn't like to go and see the stats because I might be wrong, but it was always sometimes one or another. They kind of really playing together. So it's good to see, especially a little way to Livingston. Gerrard was always a kind of Kamara, Davis, players like that. So it's good to see like the attacking players all playing together. Kent, Aribo, Hadji, Arfield in the day as well, who had his goal was a terrific finish, and then Aribo's might have just picked him as well. But I think it was comfortable without playing like too well, if you know.
Wilson, obviously at half time your nerves would have been shot to pieces with what happened at half time. Did you manage to obviously see the second half and the better team won, do you think?
No. I think first half, I mean, again, and this is where the Rangers support will be panicking. And I'm a big advocate of that. I still think Arfield's offside for the first goal. But again, the establishment aren't going to rule that out. No chance there. But again, as Rory touched on with the Hibs game, the quality of the two finishes, in fact, the three finishes, Carl's a really good header as well. Again, a routine for Rangers, absolutely routine going there. And David Martindale will be going home a happy man that his team get 3 points. He really will. Absolutely pathetic, that guy. He never try a pun against Rangers Livingston. Never try a pun. But obviously geared up towards to play Celtic. In terms of the snowballs, I think that's a good laugh. I really do. I wouldn't be advocating throwing things onto the pitch for anyone watching, but I think that's a wee bit of fun. I mean, these guys would have been absolutely freezing. Again, there's obviously the issue if it hits somebody and hurts somebody and whatnot. But again, it wasn't a protest at the end. It was just a bit of tomfoolery. I actually thought Martindale was embarrassing himself. I know they're his fans because he's a Rangers man, but if Van Bronckhorst went out and say, right, lads, calm this down, 10 minutes, so the game's delayed, but no, but Rangers certainly deserve to win. I think they've got a wee, and I know it's probably the same when you get a new manager in, but they seem to have a wee bit of zip about them. They seem to have a wee bit more energised. I thought the same on Thursday night in the European game. They certainly look as if they're maybe a wee bit happier, playing with a smile on their face, which makes me maybe think there was things behind the scenes before Gerrard's departure that was going on, but it's obviously stuff we'll never find out. But I very comfortable. I thought when it went 2-0, it could have been one of these games that Rangers just keep possession and can finish 2-0, or they could have went and won it 5 or 6. But Livingston's goal, they got themselves back into it. But I think it was only going to be one winner today at Almondvale. So it's a unique game in Scottish football where both managers go home happy.
Rory, since Van Bronckhorst came into the job, obviously played 2 games, won 2 games, been a good start for the new manager. What's been the big kind of things you've noticed at how kind of Van Bronckhorst has kind of set Rangers up, and are you kind of noticing any big things compared to how Gerrard used to set up the Rangers?
No, I said on the show last week that I felt I obviously played the 4-2-3-1 during the week. Small, subtle changes between now and January, and I think January you'll see the bigger changes. I think he delivered the message, didn't he, when he came in? Some of the things that went on over the last couple of weeks, or some of the things that have been said, it's not happening under me. And if it does happen, you'll find me a very difficult person to deal with. And I think that is his way of going, right, let's see what they're made of between now and January and reassess things in January, because I don't think, to answer your question, no, there has been massive changes. I just think there's been a bit of impetus put into the team because of the change in manager, because of that little bit of freshness, because of that little bit of change. People fighting for places, people kind of reinvigorated. I think that's been the biggest change. I don't think it's anything that Van Bronckhorst has specifically done. I mean, how much can you do in a week with 2 games in there as well? So, no, I don't think so. I think it's just been a natural human reaction to change, which is to react to it. And I think that's what they've done. But I think any bigger changes, like I've said, and I will continue to say, will come in January.
We'll move on to the final game of the weekend. Celtic 2, Aberdeen 1. Jota gave Celtic the lead, and then Ferguson got Aberdeen level through a penalty before Celtic's captain, Carl McGregor, got them the 3 points with a 2-1 victory. Wilson, what was your overall takeaways for the game? Did Celtic deserve to win?
In terms of, it's the same stuff we'll touch on with Celtic all the time, in terms of possession, etc. Yeah, the winning goal, absolutely incredible, the winning goal. But McGregor played well in the game. You know, he was a kind of standout. Again, I'm kind of starting to see a few things in message boards. I don't think the Celtic fans are buying into Abada just now. I think they're maybe expecting...
really good at the start of the season. He has
kind
of went out a wee bit.
He's kind of fell away, and I don't think it's... Going by VAR, I don't think it's a penalty. I think in first viewing, you think straight away it's a penalty. But I think that position will probably become James Forrest's over the next few weeks, and especially when it gets into, if he's fit enough, certainly, in the next few games. Aberdeen, I thought were okay. You know, Joe Lewis pulled off a couple of good saves. I always like Lewis Ferguson. I think every time I see him play, I'm impressed by him. Ramirez looked good as well. David Bates looked maybe about a 2 out of 10, which is a vast improvement over his recent performances. He looked okay. McCrory's a good player. I actually find Aberdeen, you know, if they put those performances in, you know, they would improve. But I think that's, did somebody say it's 8 defeats or something in the last 10 games?
Same as Dundee. Same as Dundee this season. 8 defeats.
It's a real problem. And like, I know you buy into the process, all the buzzwords from the chairman and all that, but Stephen Glass must be heavy under pressure because, again, on paper, I look at those Aberdeen players and I think they are good players. They have got good players. Possibly on paper a better squad than Hibs. Possibly on paper a better squad than Hearts. You know, definitely Dundee United and some of the other teams, but it's a results-based business, as we all know. But it's a good 3 points for Celtic. It keeps the pressure on. I actually felt at 1 each. Then if that goes to 6 points again, there's big crunch games this midweek. December's, as Rory mentioned, the is going to be hectic leading into the Old Firm game. And as I've said, you know, for a good few weeks now, Celtic can't let that 4 points get any bigger before the Old Firm game. Because if Rangers, and they're more than capable of going to Parkhead and winning, and if that becomes 7 points straight into January, then it's a long road back for Celtic.
Rory, what was your overall thoughts on Celtic's 2-1 win over Aberdeen?
Similar to Wilson, they did enough to win the game, I thought. I think it probably was a penalty. You could argue either way. I mean, for me, I think what most people will say is, well, he realises he's mistimed it and he pulls his leg away, but he still mistimes it. His leg's still there, and you could argue, well, you know, David Bates makes contact with him as he's in his, you know, he's in David Bates's path. He's put his foot there. He's made the wrong decision. Yes, he's realised it and tried to pull away, but he's not got away in time. And for me, I think you could easily justify a penalty being given there. If he was to give it the other way, then for me, he would need to book him for diving, assuming that David Bates is looking for it. So, like, it's a difficult one. It's one you could probably debate all day, but I've no problem with that being given as a penalty. I think, especially in real time, you know, these split seconds within games in the box. You know, I just thought it wasn't a terrible decision or anything like that. I think there's a lot of people saying it was never a penalty. For me, I think you can easily justify it as a penalty. But the game itself, like I said, I heard Stephen Glass on the radio on the way home again, like, it's a recording for last week and the week before and the week before and the week before. It's becoming monotonous and mundane now. The whole process of his interviews, it's the same stuff every single week. I mean, they're on 1 game swing of being in the bottom 2. So that's no justifiable in any way, shape or form. I don't care what stats you've got. I worry for Aberdeen. I do. I think that they can't seem to grind out a result. I know they've picked up a couple of results in the last kind of month or so. They had a couple of good wins, and they went to Ibrox and got a result when they had their backs to the wall. But it doesn't fill me with any confidence or any belief or any. I don't look forward to hearing his thoughts in the game. I just find him a little bit. I think he seems a little bit lost at times. I really do.
And that's just because that's his first job, and it's
No, I don't think so. I think there's plenty of managers. It's Tam Quartz's first job, and he comes out and he's quite. Listen, it's easy to be modest, and it's easy to be more balanced when your team is doing well. Of course it is, because almost if you're not doing so well, you feel under pressure, so you feel the need to defend yourself. But Tam Courts comes out and, again, he says some strange things at times, but at the same time, he gives quite a balanced view of the game. And he's picking up points and he's doing well with a team which Wilson's already pointed out isn't as strong as Aberdeen's. So you can give him the benefit of the doubt to an extent with the whole, it's his first job and things. But I just think that they're going to need to start picking up points soon. He talks about good moments within the game constantly. Well, they're totally outweighed by bad moments. So, the balance just isn't there. But I thought Celtic deserved to win the game. Aberdeen were competitive. They did fine. But that's not good enough if you're Aberdeen.
Shankers, any you want to add in the Celtic victory over Aberdeen?
No, the boys have covered it. They've done enough to win the game. I think it's a case of Celtic need to score 2 goals. Rangers are similar. 2 goals at least to win a game of football now, which is going to go against you at times. Having to score 2 goals all the time, because it looks as if both teams are always there's always a chance that they're going to concede goals. But I said earlier, I actually don't think it's a penalty. I mean, if it's me that's going down the box, I'm screaming for it. But just out with looking at it, I've watched that comment and I could see why he's giving it, but in my opinion, it isn't a penalty. But like Jota, I think he's been brilliant since he came to
Why is it
Celtic.
not a penalty, Shankers?
I actually don't think there's an awful lot. I actually think Bates, it's no like the Celtic player making contact with him. I thought it was Bates who's made.
So Jen gets a booking?
No, I just don't think it's anything. I don't think he's dived, but I don't think it's a penalty.
I could have touched on this, and you were slaughtering me midweek as you often do. And it was the same as the Celtic penalty in Europe. The keeper's coming out.
Aye.
To get the ball, and it was. I don't know if you saw Chelsea's penalty today. Like Juan Bissaka's just he can't see the guy in his peripheral vision as such. He goes to clear the ball, and he kicks. And Thiago just puts his leg out. He kicks up into his ankle and kicks the ball out, and it's a penalty. Is it going to stop guys maybe anticipating? Because if you're just going to get your body in, you're going to get a penalty.
I've not seen the Chelsea one, but see the midweek one. I mean, that I know he's a goalkeeper, but that's excessive force. The Celtic lad plants his leg, but I mean, the one during the week's 100% a Stonewall penalty, in my opinion. You can't come out and wipe somebody out like that, regardless.
I know, but he's making a genuine attempt to come and get the cross.
It's still a foul, though. You can make a genuine attempt to play.
I'm not saying the decision, I'm just saying the rule seems a wee bit. And I felt the same today. Abada's legs planted, and David Bates kicks into him, if you know what I mean, and goes over. And for me, his stride path that's his next movement. He has to go there. Where else can David Bates go? He's running at relative pace, and Abada plants his leg. David Bates has relative pace, to be honest.
I know what you mean. I just think Abada knows he's made the wrong choice and can't get his leg away in time.
I always think, by his reaction as well. Abada's reaction is like, oh no, I've made a mistake here. The Chelsea one, the Man United game's a wee bit different. They're all crowding the ref and whatnot. It's just, I feel it's just a wee bit iffy, and that's why I'm a big advocate of VAR coming into Scottish football.
We'll touch on what's coming up this week. We've got a busy week ahead. We'll start on Monday night. Brecon take on Darvel. Shankers, surely you want Mac to make it 3 wins out of 3 for the West of Scotland teams?
I mean, it would be nice, but I'm not overly fussed about it. But it would be nice for them. Darvel, I think it's the first time in the cup and stuff like that, so they'll be looking to go as far as they can. Try and get a big tie as well, maybe, or unless they're maybe similar to if they're wanting another one, it would like a tie at home and a favourable one if they get through. But Brecon are sitting, I think, second in the Highland League now, so it's not going to be not going to be an easy task, but I think Darvel will get more than enough to beat them. And I'm actually looking forward to it. I cannot wait to watch it on mute.
I will go to the game completely impartial, of course. I mean, I've got friends on both sides, to be fair, and I've got ex-teammates on both sides. I think it'll be competitive, and I think Darvel will go into its favourites. I don't know. I just think with the players they've got, so it'll be an interesting cup tie, and I think that little nugget at the end of it, that wee carrot in the fourth round, and the big boys getting the hat. I think it'll be a good cup tie, and then I know it's such a small thing, but Shankers has been part of plenty of cup ties. I think it's that idea of getting in the dressing room at the end and hearing the draw and watching the draw and seeing who you get, and the camera's been in there. It's just something a wee bit special about it all. So, both sides will want to be in that position when they go in and they look at what's coming next.
That was like, see, when we time we played there, we were on the bus home listening to the draw Fraserburgh, and we all had a drink, and then see when we go Ayr United at home and the bus. And the bus all uproar and everybody's getting
it's all party, isn't it?
And no, it's the kind of, I know it's cliche and cringy saying the magic of the cup, but it genuinely is for like teams like ourselves and Darvel and that who are, I'm not saying no used to it because we've played in it plenty of times, but it's just the underdog story and all that comes along with it. So we'll be good, and I'll be watching the game tomorrow night, as I said, and obviously
you say that, Shankers, but like, even as you go up the leagues, it's still exciting. See, watching the draw and all that with the boys, it doesn't matter what level you play at and what club you play at, it's still a wee buzz and it's still exciting to see who you're going to get. Mm-hmm. So I'll be looking forward to the draw and watching it play out.
Are you doing it? Is who do you kind of doing the draw? Sometimes they get like the commentators or the people in the studio and stuff like that to do the draw. I don't know.
Not 100% sure.
Is it actually? Is it breaking spark or that? Do you can no?
The draw.
Aye.
I think they're doing it for the hedge, I think.
Wilson, you're very well thought of in the Darvel dressing room. Are you wanting the boys to do well in it tomorrow night?
Well, is Megget playing? Will he be playing?
He will be playing, I would imagine.
Right, well, I'll go for Brecon then. If he's playing.
Last time I seen Mr. Megget's social, he was in Dubai.
Was that right?
He's only back in time for the cup tie.
Topping up his tan, can't hide money.
Have you seen Darvel play, Rory, this season? Yeah, or any clippets or anything?
No, I can't say I have. I've seen a lot of the highlights and different things. It's obviously more difficult to get, watch the actual games themselves. But I've seen a few of their goals. Ian McShane's, some player for that level, I must say.
He's a top player, man.
He is. He's good. He spreads the ball about well, and I know they try and play some good stuff. But yourself, Shankers, most teams at that level play good stuff. So I'll be interested to watch them. But listen, it's a tight park. It's not always easy to. I find, see, when I've played at Brecon, you go in with a game plan, passing it out, and then see after 20 minutes, it's like channel ball, percentage ball, get in their half and try and play, and it's really difficult not to do that. Whenever I've played against Brecon, three big centre backs, and there's just no room to play. There's not a lot of quality, but there's a bit of a hill as well. Can you tell I used to enjoy playing there?
Darvel will try and play kind of all close almost. I think that's the way Mick likes to play. It's the way they played against us. I mean, they kept the ball really well. They didn't keep the ball for the sake of keeping the ball. It was all for a purpose going forward. So I think it'll be.
I think team see results like yours, Shankers, and Clydebank. I mean, I was covering the Clydebank Elgin game. See, in the first half, they showed Elgin far too much respect. Elgin were by far the better team. And Clydebank, it looked like at half time they went, do you know what? Let's just go for it. And they were by far the better team. And then seeing results like Banks of D and Auchinleck and Talbot and who else get through the Clydebank, sorry, of course. Seeing these types of results, I don't think Darvel will get into fear tomorrow. But
no, definitely not.
Brecon, it's a good chance for Brecon as well. They've the game on the TV. I know they've had a lot of tough times recently, so it's a good opportunity for their boys as well. So I think it's like, I remember when Aberdeen came to Falkirk when we were going well, and Derek McInnes said to his boys, Nicky Lowe, the boy told me that, he's like that, there's a reason this game's on the telly. See if a cup tie's on the telly, they think there's a chance of an upset. They think that the TV and the media, they think you're going to get beat tonight. And that's the motivation, I think. And know that it would be a massive shock, but I think when the games are on the telly, it's almost that idea of, right, we think the underdog might win. And the bigger teams, or the so-called bigger teams, try and use that as motivation. So it'll be interesting to see how it plays out.
I quite like Bregan's Park. I made my debut up there, so I've got good memories up there. 15 years of age.
Was down the hedge.
We were absolutely terrible. Camped in. Last game of the season, nothing to play for. They're resting all the top players like Marco and that for the playoffs. So all the scuddies and the shite like myself played.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you win?
No, we beat 1-0, but he ended up getting up that year through the playoffs.
Aaron Dodd's the manager at that point, though.
No, it's
That was
Jim.
a couple of years.
Is it Jim Weir, post?
It could have been.
Johnstone guy.
Rory McAllister was there at the time and can score.
But we'll move on to, we'll talk
And
about...
answer your question, Scott. I think
Sorry,
Darvel will
Wilson,
win.
on you go.
I think Darvel will win, by the way, and answer your question. You asked me 25 minutes ago for Stadler and Waldorf started their break. So.
Alison's texting me to see when I'm going through for the weigh-ins. I'm just trying to talk about hundreds of stuff so he's sleeping.
Wilson, what's your game of the midweek in the Scottish Premiership? I'm sure you've read the fixture list I wrote in the layout earlier.
Absolutely. Studied
hear
it.
your answer, Shankers. He'll be asleep in no time.
Oh, that's harsh.
Oh, these two are at it tonight.
He's salmon.
These two are on form. Here's my prediction midweek, and I can see the cash signs in Rory's eyes as I say my prediction for this week. Here you go, right? Both Edinburgh teams to beat both Glasgow teams. There you go. There's a wee midweek flutter for us, Rory.
Why?
Well, Hibs.
Can't take a comment like that. No backup. Why you think that?
Well, Hibs won yesterday. They're still, obviously, after 5 straight defeats, they're in no way guaranteed a top 6. Obviously, they should be. They've obviously beat Rangers at Hampden a couple of weeks ago. A week ago or so. And it's at Easter Road. You know, it's not necessarily always a happy hunting ground for I don't know, is Boyle suspended again, or was that his suspension yesterday? Or?
No, Boyle and Doyle just suspended, I think.
Are they suspended? Well, I'll maybe change that then. Always a difficult place to go. And as I say, Hearts are chasing Celtic for second. And Hearts, as I say, Hearts have got some good individual players as well. As I say, I think sometimes with the Old Firm, these European games will catch up on them at some point, because that's now Thursday, Sunday, Wednesday for Rangers and Thursday for Celtic again. So I think there could be a wee blip this midweek. So there you go. Now you can slot me next weekend when we're on, or if we're doing a midweek show, I don't know. But there you go. 2 Edinburgh teams to beat the 2 Glasgow teams.
Rory, are you taking that bet?
I don't see 3 points. I don't see 6 points staying in. But I mean, it's still beyond the realms of possibility that one of them might get a result. But I can't see Hibs and Hearts both win. I cannot see Hearts coming to Celtic Park and picking up 3 points. I just can't see it.
Shankers, which was your game of the weekend in the game of the week? In the Scottish Premiership.
I mean, it is 2 good games. I would probably just have to say Rangers, just because, like the Rangers will be looking for revenge after the cup fixture the other week there and stuff like that. Plus, away from home, chance to maybe get a win and put a wee bit of pressure. Celtic are playing on the Thursday night, so I think that will probably just be just for the sake of it's got a wee bit of needle in the games normally, and obviously Rangers need to prove a point after being battered in the semi-final.
I know, as you say, it's an exciting week ahead. Motherwell play the Day United on Tuesday. Aberdeen play Livingston on Wednesday, along with Dundee St Johnstone, Hibs Rangers, St Mirren Ross County, and Thursday Celtic Hearts. Rory, where are you going to be?
Brecon tomorrow, and then I'm covering Inverness Kilmarnock on Friday.
Wilson, are you going to Inverness?
I seen Wilson's miss.
Yes, but don't tell my boss. Sorry, Shankers.
It'll be obvious, mate, when you're the only guy in a waste.
I think
Kilmarnock flag.
I think a lot of the Kelly fans are using this as their Christmas day out, to be fair. I think that's might be quite a healthy Kelly crowd, to be fair.
They made some racket at Somerset, right enough.
Seen when it said Dundee St Johnstone, I seen your mouth watering there.
The other 4 games sound absolutely dreadful.
We are going to...
Aberdeen, Levy, and oh my goodness.
What we're going to do is we'll do what we've done the past couple of weeks. We'll send our predictions into the channel on Tuesday morning. We'll have them out. So
how was the predictor this week?
You won.
All right, okay.
Yeah, I was bottom. Yeah. Well, that won't be happening this week. We'll fix somehow. But yeah, we're going to wrap up the show there. It's
no fans' questions this week. No,
unless you've got any you want to read out that you've heard.
No, the one I was just talking about there. One of
this is this guy. I get nervous at that. Every week.
Get the page shut down.
One of my good friends had just texted me there saying, "What would your starting team be against the Ukraine if everyone's fit and everyone's available?"
Yeah, that was
and then that's how I got on. That's how I mentioned it during the thing, because if the text come through, and that's where I spoke about McGregor and Gordon. You know, so it was just really to touch on that. You know, against you. I mean, I know it's 4 months away. You know, but
we should actually touch.
It's all I can think about, to be honest.
We should actually touch on that. We'll go to your question in a minute. We'll go to Wilson first. Do you think Scotland have a chance against Ukraine? And then
absolutely,
Austria, Wales. The draw couldn't have worked out any better. It's Portugal together.
Yeah, possibly apart from maybe North Macedonia or something. I think that's probably the best Scotland could hope for. Ukraine won't be easy, but I think we've got more than enough to beat them at Hampden. And absolutely, I think the 4 of us could beat Wales. Gareth Bale's no playing, to be fair. More than enough to go to Wales and win.
See, I think it's like a really Scottish thing to get like ahead of ourselves. Like Ukraine got to the quarters of the Euros.
These days are over, Shankers. These are days of the past. These are days of the past. This is the future. You've got the best manager in the world taking the. You now have someone. I mean, you saw McTominay the day, man of the match at Stamford Bridge. Gilmour was man of the match yesterday. Okay, albeit maybe not get a out and out total goal scorer, but Adams has had a vein of form. You know, Tierney and Robertson are ridiculous. You know, Patterson's now getting more than 15 minutes a game as well. So hopefully he'll be playing. You know,
playing one forward, but
he's playing kind of right wing now.
Exactly. So, as I say, there's options here now that we've never had before. Now, the debate, and again, we're quite boring as for because we're all old. But we're debating, do you play McTominay at the back or does Hanley come in? Does Cooper play? We've never had options like this before, I should be confident. Because Wales have got Bale and sometimes they've got Aaron Ramsey. The rest are garbage. The rest wouldn't get a game with Bannockburn. Their mind's Stuart. There you go. So if we get to Wales, if we beat Ukraine, then the flights to Qatar are booked.
We get to Wales still need to beat a tricky Austria.
No, Austria are garbage. Talbot beat them, mate. Scotland beat Austria, so Wales will beat Austria.
Rory, can Scotland
what's your team then?
My team. Marco's threw a curveball in there. I'm still a wee bit uncertain of McTominay at the back. Not uncertain of him as a player. I'm just worried. I thought Cooper done really well. But my problem, I think, with Cooper is you're going to be playing a kind of left-sided centre half, probably on the right. Because I think Hanley would play in the middle and KT would play left. Robertson, Patterson, Gilmour, Calmack, McGinn, Adams. Gordon in goals, by the way.
I never usually agree with you, but I do here. I would play McTominay. I think Clark relies on McTominay a lot in that centre back position. I think McTominay's a centre.
And it sounds, and I know you have a go at me all the time, blah blah blah. But if he puts McTominay into midfield, then incredibly for me it would be Gilmour that would miss out. Incredibly. So that's where I think McTominay will play at the back.
McTominay will play at the back. I think the midfield stays. So I think the midfield stays as close to rock solid.
I think you're just going by the last game, I would play Cooper before Hanley, but Hanley's done very, very well up until he was suspended. So I'd maybe go McTominay, Cooper, KT, Robbo, Patterson.
Jack Henry not make your conversation there?
Not for me.
It's
probably, I say out of mind. He's probably doing very well in Belgium, but I just always think Cooper's playing the Premiership week in, week out for Leeds. He must have something. And as I say, I thought he done very, very well the last game. So I
played with Cooper at Carlisle. He was good player. I think he fits the Leeds way of playing. It's just that worry when Scotland, the way they play, he's modern day centre back. He plays, gets on the ball, passes it around. But when push comes to shove, I think he likes your Hanley's probably defend a box better. But in terms of team selection, these variables could change a million and one times between now and then.
Nobody suspended, did they? I actually wonder that because there's a lot of guys up for.
No, I think it's been wiped.
I think it wipes it. Aye.
No, it doesn't, unless they've reversed it.
That's what I thought as well. Because I'm sure there's about 6 or 7 yellows before the Denmark game that I saw. If they were one away, they get booked.
Because McGinn was on a booking, he didn't sub him after the 90th minute. I'm going, come on, Stevie.
that was the dilemma before it, wasn't it? Like, are you happy with the playoff, like not being seeded and keep the players for a booking? But I was always one of the ones can play your best team and trust them to be professional. Trust them to be kind of professional enough.
Rory, can Scotland reach Qatar with that draw?
Aye, I'm not quite as confident as Mark Wilson, I must say.
He's already in Doha.
Flights booked, lads. Flights are booked.
Will you go, Wilson, if they get there?
I don't tell my boss so. I'm going that sick for a week because I was saying that. You know, Tracy's going, you'll not got holidays at that time of year because obviously it's the winter and whatnot. But I'm saying to my boss, I'm only away for a week because we'll play the 3 games in 8 days or whatever it is, and we'll be on the road home. So it's really it's no different to isolating for a week or whatever, you know. But again, you don't know what's going to happen worldwide. I've about 18 vaccinations by then. Could have 3 heats and 2 chests by then. But I would love. I mean, I would love to know. I would love to know. I really would. Because as I say, I would take the kids because look at you guys. You know, you've probably never been. I mean, I've never been to a World Cup. I mean, I could have went to France, but we went to Annapa instead. That's another story. You know, so I've never been to a World Cup. You know, I'm 25 next birthday. Do you know what I mean? It's so you really want to be. You really want, and as I say, I would love to take my kids because I maybe going to see another World Cup. Do you know what I mean? So
no.
Absolutely. So my boss will be getting the phone call from Doha. Get that sand in my throat.
For what it's worth, I would go Gordon, Patterson, McTominay. I actually hate saying that name, man, because I'm not a fan, but I think that's what Steve Clark would go. McTominay, Hanley, Tierney, Robertson, McGinn, McGregor, and Gilmer, Adams, and probably Dykes. I think that's what he would. That's what he would do.
I would go Gordon, McTominay, Hanley, Tierney, Patterson, Robertson, Gilmer, McGregor, McGinn, Adams. I'm not going to play Dykes. I'm going to leave Dykes out because I've got to get Ryan Jack in there.
Wilson's not heard you.
Wilson's not heard me. I've got to get Ryan. I'm not playing Dykes. I've got to have Ryan Jack in there.
Well, but it's Ryan Jack or wee Billy. You know, which
I would play McGinn further forward. I would play McGinn just off Adams and put Jack in the defence.
Honestly?
No, I'm only joking. I would play Dykes and Adams.
Dykes
and Adams. I would.
Was Dykes injured or something
recently? He was suspended.
What? Who? I think who?
It was sort of kind of Armstrong then Christie just off Adams, wasn't it?
Aye. I'd maybe go Armstrong.
Maybe I.
Rory, I think Dykes would feel hard done by, to be fair.
Aye. Rory, what would yours be?
It's 4 months away. How can you pick? I don't know. It baffles me. This. It's like saying who's going to play in the next Old Firm in the 2nd of January. Who knows? Who's going to be available? Who's not going to be available?
I think it's just a case of if everybody's fit, what would your team be?
Well, probably similar to the team that started the game there against Denmark.
Brilliant.
I would be happy with that. It'd be hard to go against that. But you say, I mean, I know we're laughing at Pike with the Ryan Jack thing. You know, Ryan Jack was kind of getting himself to be a starter. Do you know what I mean? Before he got injured, so you wouldn't be surprised. But this is what I'm saying. It's options.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's the options that we have.
Options only take you so far in a one-off game, though. Across a group, aye, great. Play Ukraine and get your selection wrong, then your options only. I mean, having Ryan Jack and Gilmer there, it's not going to change a game if it's gone wrong at half time or 60 minutes. So it's nice to have options over the course of a 10-game campaign, but I don't know how far options get you. You know, if you get world-class game-changing players on the bench, aye, okay.
It's Stuart Armstrong. There you go. There's one.
Aye. In a one-off game against Ukraine, I think your starting 11 is crucial. I don't think you're going to be able to rely on people for the bench to come on and turn around a deficit.
You're just lacking belief, you lot. You don't have any tenants lager adverts.
I don't lack belief. I'm not as confident as you, but I don't think you're going to get a better chance. Like,
I do have a wee feeling as well. To be fair, I've just got a wee sneaky feeling. There's something about this squad, is what I would say. That kind of wee feeling that says, I think we might just do this.
It's like a kind of club, like good dressing room mentality, like that, like Scotland's team now. It seems like they're all good, close bond and stuff like that. So it is good to see.
I think that comes with winning, though, doesn't it, as well?
I know, it helps a lot. I mean, watch teams have like Nigel Quasi and things like that in it, you know, make you sick.
We are going to wrap up the show there. It's been another entertaining show as always. Thanks to the guys for coming on. It's been a pleasure as always.
Thanks, Scott.
Brilliant. Thank you very much to everyone that's tuned in. Please subscribe to our podcast and YouTube channels and follow us on social media. Thanks very much, everyone. See you soon. Cheers.